Tonight, the dangers they shouldn't have to face.
I will kill you!
Getting worse before Christmas, the ambulance crews being assaulted and threatened. Also on the programme. More details about the 15-year-old boy stabbed to death in Islington. The woman who refused to be written off after a brain injury now helping others. Plus, talking about his generation, The Who's Roger Daltry becomes a Sir, and the West End cast swapping revolution for the countdown to Christmas. Good evening. They go to care for people in the worst moments, and yet ambulance crews are still facing shocking levels of violence as they try to do their jobs. More than half of ambulance crews here have experienced physical violence in the last year, and it only gets worse with the approach of Christmas and New Year. ITV News London has learned it's been getting so bad, the ambulance service is considering its policy on never refusing care. With some distressing details, Olivia Guthrie has been speaking to some of those who only want to help, but instead face getting harmed themselves.
He started coming towards me, he was shouting at me, he started trying to punch me, kick me, he was threatening to kill us.
I will kill you!
Emily has been repeatedly attacked by her patients, including being threatened with a knife. The paramedic says the worst incident was when a man she was treating punched her in the face and threatened her with sexual violence.
He threatened to rape me and then dump my body in an alleyway, at which point I became really quite humiliated and had to turn around so he couldn't see me because I started crying. And then afterwards, you know, when the adrenaline kind of wore off, I just had a bit of a breakdown.
Emily's attacker was sentenced to 8 months in prison for what he did to her. All London ambulances are fitted with CCTV and crews can choose to wear body-worn cameras to protect themselves. But despite this, experiences like Emily's are extremely common.
New figures show more than half of crews have been attacked in the last year, more than 500 of them 3 or more times. The London Ambulance Service says attacks have increased by about 8% this year, with 44% of crew members subjected to sexual abuse.
I want the public to work with us and stop assaulting our people. It is never acceptable to assault an emergency worker, particularly a paramedic who's coming out to help you when you need it most.
The attack on Emily features in a new campaign. All we want for Christmas is respect. The London Ambulance Service is looking into changing policy to allow paramedics to refuse care to those who abuse them. Emily says although she's been shaken by the violence she's experienced, she still loves her job and is determined to carry on.
The thing is, Yasmin, that ambulance crews like Emily currently can't refuse to provide care for those who abuse them. But today, the head of the London Ambulance Service told me that there is going to be a policy change in the new year that will allow paramedics to withdraw from a scene if they're subject to threats of abuse or violence.
Wow, OK. Olivia, thank you. The family of a 90-year-old man who died in a crowded corridor at Queen's Hospital in Romford last month have told ITV News there was no dignity in his death. Roger Bass suffered a suspected stroke, but when he got to hospital, there was no space for him on the wards. Last week, we aired footage at the hospital revealing exactly what that looks like. Bosses have apologised today, admitting no one should be receiving corridor care. Speaking to ITV's health correspondent Rebecca Barry, Mr Bass's relatives called the situation disgusting.
It's shameful. You know, he had no dignity. No. You know, we couldn't actually be in a room with him. I thought to myself, well, these other 26 people here, have any of them passed away? They've had no attention, just left there. You know, and as I say, it rattles my brain, you know, to think my dad died there.
And there's more on that story, including just how widespread corridor care has become at other hospitals, on the ITV Evening News at 6:30. Next, we've learnt more tonight about the stabbing in Islington yesterday afternoon that left a 15-year-old dead. Kaf Opata is in Islington, and Kaf, what more can you tell us?
Well, Yasmin, we understand that the 15-year-old who was stabbed here yesterday is Adam Henry. That's the name we've heard from sources, people living here, Adam Henry. We also understand that he was a student at the Bright Satellite School, just a 10-minute drive away from here. Online, friends and classmates have been paying tribute to him. TikTok comments reading, "Rest easy, my boy. Long live Adam." There's also been a steady stream of people all day, all night, laying flowers, laying cards, one card reading, "We are holding you in our prayers." Yasmin, as you can see, there is a heavy police presence here. The tent is still up, the cordon is still up, a number of officers patrolling the area, walking up and down. It's still very much an active murder investigation. No suspects yet, no arrests have been made. Adam's killer is still on the loose.
And Kaf, how are the residents taking this?
Well, people living here tell me that they love this neighbourhood, but what happened yesterday has reignited old fears. It wasn't that long ago, back in 2020, when someone was shot. People are worried that the stabbing which took place yesterday has had a negative effect on this area.
Kaf, for now, thank you. Well, stabbings are always shocking, particularly when they involve victims so young. But there was a time when killings were so startling, they led to a sense of national soul-searching about violence on our streets. That was the case with the murder of headmaster Philip Lawrence. It was 30 years ago this week. In a moment, we're going to be speaking to one of his former colleagues about his memories of what happened that day. Philip Lawrence was a popular teacher and a respected headmaster. But in 1995, his life was ended outside his school in Maida Vale. The father of four was stabbed repeatedly when he tried to protect a pupil from a gang at the school gates. Liako Chandama, then only 15, was convicted of his murder and ordered to serve a minimum of 12 years. He was released in 2010 but recalled to prison after being accused of robbery. Chandama was acquitted and let out again in 2014. The killing of Philip Lawrence started a conversation about the number of school children being excluded. But it also marked a moment in the mid-90s when people became more aware of the rising violence playing out on our streets. Well, I'm joined now by Ed Conway, who was then a young teacher with Philip Lawrence at St George's and is now the head of his own school, and Sandra Campbell from Word for Weapons, a charity that works with young people to tackle knife crime. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Ed, first of all to you, Philip Lawrence had a massive impact on you, didn't he? On you and your life. Just tell us about that.
Well, obviously, when I was at the school before Philip joined, and once he joined, within literally a year, he'd promoted me to be a subject leader, which was for me a very big deal at the time. He also asked me to join the senior leadership at the team, which was at the school, which was a really big accolade as well. From there, a year later, he basically promoted me to be assistant head teacher, and tragically when he died, he was in conversation with me and another colleague about becoming an acting deputy head. So when I look back at my career, that was a really momentous time for me, and I'm very, very grateful to him for what he did.
Do you know, there's a lot of people who say that they wouldn't have been where they were today without him. What was he like? He was quite quirky, wasn't he?
He was a lovely man. He was a real gentleman. And yeah, he was quirky. He was the first person I ever met to wear very flamboyant and colourful bow ties, which I do remember very clearly. He was a very bright man, often tongue-in-cheek would quote both Latin and Greek, which was always amusing. And another thing he used to do at the end of school days, he'd play Gregorian chant through our school tannoy system, which was very calming and really, really very, very quirky, and showed that quirky side of him. But a lovely man altogether.
Yeah, extraordinary. Sandra, at that point 30 years ago when this happened, I don't think we were so used to violence in the schools, on the streets, as perhaps we are today. But it feels like we only really started to wake up to this problem perhaps a decade ago. Do you feel like there was perhaps a lost time in between where we could really have started to make a difference with this problem?
That would probably be an answer for the politicians. Yes, I do think that we have had some gaps in that, but we're very, very aware of it now. We're currently working with the Home Office to say that the government's new strategies to halve knife crime in the next 10 years. So we're looking at it now seriously. We've got schools officers in trying to educate young people, and my condolences to the family of Mr. Lawrence. It's quite tragic.
I mean, it led to a new banning of the sale of knives for under 16s.
Yes.
What more needs to be done? You talked about what you're doing with the government there.
Yes, obviously what we're doing is we're giving people safe space to surrender those weapons. We now have a lot more young women, violence against women and girls, a lot of the perceived threat of knife crime. I personally think that London is safe, but when you have all the fear around knife crime, then it gives it a whole new perspective as well. So we provide those surrender bins that people can just surrender them at any stage, night or day, 24/7. And we are getting so much weapons being surrendered. And it's also highlighting the prevalence of knife crime, because a simple house knife can do just as much damage as, say, those ninja swords that were banned in the summer through the Home Office scheme.
Thank you both for coming in today. Really good to speak to you. And he has such a great legacy, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and it's great that you're remembering it as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Ed Conway and Sandra Campbell, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
The author Sophie Kinsella has died after being diagnosed with a form of aggressive brain cancer. She found huge success with her Shopaholic series, which was adapted into the Hollywood film Confessions of a Shopaholic. Her novel sold more than 45 million copies in more than 60 countries. Her family said she died peacefully, with her final days filled with her true loves, family and music and warmth and Christmas and joy. Sophie Kinsella was just 55. Still to come on the programme. Antarctic adventurer Spencer Matthews joins me in the studio. But first, it's been over 77 years since the arrival of the Windrush in Tilbury Docks in Essex, bringing the migrants who came to help rebuild post-war Britain. These days, more than 345,000 Black Caribbean people live in London, many of the older generation now retired. Now a new report has focused on those aged 50 and over, looking at how their experiences of inequality have impacted them in older age. Cara Digby reports.
Hazel Watson and Ernell Diana live in Newham and both came to the UK from the Caribbean as young women to become nurses. Despite their eagerness to care for others and train hard, they say they were treated differently.
I felt that there was that distrust, that you weren't intelligent enough to undertake such certain tasks in the hospital. We had a team meeting and I made some valuable contributions, and the nurse at office said, "No, we don't need that." But in another team meeting, another colleague, he reiterated the same issues that I raised in that meeting, and it wasn't sort of put down. It was well received, so to speak.
A report by Age UK has found for many Black Caribbean people, the impact of racism, inequality in housing, healthcare and employment, and the trauma of the Windrush scandal has profoundly affected their experience of ageing. Research suggests around 31% of Black people of pension age are living in poverty. That's compared to 16% of white people. Age UK has now outlined 10 changes it wants to see in government policy. They include calls to tackle institutional racism, improve access to benefits, and build trust in the NHS and improve health screening. A government spokesperson said Britain is taking strides in tackling racial discrimination and is determined to root out structural racial inequality. It's reforming the welfare system to get people into good, secure jobs, helping them out of poverty, as well as tackling the blight of poor quality homes.
The social economic society in general needs to understand, various cultures, people, their situation, and to give them the same equal opportunity as others, so that they can, improve their standard and excel to to the degree that they want to.
Cara Digby, ITV News.
A quick update on the story we brought you last week now. Collapsed ceilings and vast piles of rubbish did not stop a derelict home in Camden fetching nearly £1 million at auction earlier. 75 Camden Mews was marketed as a redevelopment opportunity after the previous owners left the property in a state of disrepair. Now, my guest tonight has just finished a 140.6-mile triathlon in Antarctica and added yet another Guinness World Record to his collection. But that's just the tip of the iceberg for Spencer Matthews. In the space of just 3 weeks, he has in fact done 7 Ironman triathlons in all 7 continents.
I'm so gifted at finding what I don't like the most. I'm so gifted at finding what I don't like the most.
Spencer, you've been back for 2 days. You look fresh as a daisy.
That'll be the 2 days.
How are you?
No,
Are you right?
I feel great. I feel really proud of what we managed to achieve, and I feel like we managed to make a bit of a difference for James's Place, who we were raising awareness and funds for. But thanks for having me on the show to talk about it.
No, it's extraordinary. And do you know what? I had to, earlier on, I was reading up about what you've done. I thought I misread it because it said 7 in 21 days. But that's what you did.
Yeah, no, so full Ironman in each continent, London, Arizona, Cape Town, Perth, Dubai, Rio and Antarctica. All for men in suicidal crisis. So James's Place, prevents suicide in men. And I heard a stat before heading out that, the most likely thing to kill you if you're 35 or younger is yourself in this country. And I knew that, hopefully we'd be able to try to do something to help these men.
And I guess that's probably what drove you through all of this. Was there ever a moment during all of that where you doubted if you'd do it or not?
There was a couple of pretty hairy moments, yeah.
Yeah, just a couple.
The water in Cape Town was pretty frightening, very cold, 9 degrees, and seals were swimming all over me, and I couldn't quite tell what they were at the time because it was really dark. It was, not even 5 in the morning. And then Antarctica, of course, came with its own levels of fear and worry and concern. I had a safety briefing the night before the swim and actually made it a lot worse.
Do you know what? I was just about to ask you about Antarctica, but I'm seeing that we're seeing pictures of your wife, actually, in the jungle doing her own challenges. So you were all away doing challenges. But Antarctica, you describe it as a 28-hour, 52-minute war. Just how bad was it?
It was pretty rough, especially as it was the last one of the 7, so I was quite depleted going into it. And, Antarctica is a pretty hostile environment. We arrived to shocking weather, like a full-on storm, and it was all just quite, worrying, I suppose, for the triathlon itself. But thankfully, things cleared up, as you can see from that image. That was a penguin behind me there in the water.
Was it? Didn't I hear that you were worried about being mistaken for a penguin in case you got eaten by something?
There are leopard seals there. So I had some spotters on the beach and in boats. And again, that kind of raised alarm bells. I thought that I was probably safer than I was, but it turns out they're a genuine concern.
Gosh.
And had to really kind of get a grip and not worry too much about what could go wrong. I think, by the time you're actually in it, you need to focus on just doing it instead of, driving yourself mad.
Yeah, the Europe leg you did in London, didn't you? Yeah. Was the Thames as bad as Antarctica?
That was my first time doing an Ironman, so just getting that out of the way was quite a welcome milestone. Again, huge amounts of support from James's Place, and just really proud and honoured to be in a position to help them, and very thankful to the brands that sponsored the event, made it all possible. Oakley, Meta, Free Train, Huel. I couldn't have done it without them, and just the experience of a lifetime, really. What it's all about.
Absolutely. Look, we've only got about 10 seconds left, but do tell me you're going to have a rest for Christmas, please.
Yes, we're going to spend the weekend away together now, and I've got a job in Texas afterwards, and then we're away. So yeah, looking forward to tooling down for the end of the year with my wonderful family who I missed.
Time with the family. Lovely. Spencer, thank you so much, and well done.
Thank you.
Sally is here, and Sally, you've spent the day with an amazing mum and daughter.
I have. Emily Gray has got an incredible story. She's from Wimbledon. She had a life-changing stroke Here's her story and how she's getting on.
Drive, drive, drive. Good.
While many want to wind down at Christmas, Emily will be working as hard as ever.
Yes, drive through, drive, drive, drive. Knee up, knee up, knee up. Yeah, well done.
Afterwards, do you feel completely exhausted or do you feel energised?
Energised. Emily never, ever says, no, I want to have a rest.
It was exactly 4 years ago that a healthy, sporty Emily had a devastating stroke aged just 17 and nearly died. Left unable to walk and talk, she's fought back every day since to do both once again.
Emily, what is it that you particularly love doing here? What's your favourite exercise? Walking.
Walking.
This place in Crawley is key to her recovery. NeuroConnects is a rehabilitation centre with activity-based therapy for people with brain and spine injuries.
I started seeing her in April time and the progress she's made, just the independence. She wouldn't have been able to walk how she is back then, but she's just made so much improvement. Up, 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 up. Good.
Earlier this year, Emily's mum and sister ran a half marathon to raise money.
Did she do well?
Yeah.
So proud.
Oh, you were so proud of me. Thank you.
We're live!
And this is the moment that £22,000 they raised launched a new fund so that other young people can get free sessions here and kickstart their recovery.
Is that very, very special to you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Emily's goal is to walk again, but I wondered, on top of that, what she fancied for Christmas.
More piercings.
Yes, Emily. I love it.
You should have said a dog.
Is that because Dad's listening and it's on telly?
Yeah. And
NeuroConnects has given Emily belief, support and friendship. No wonder she wants others to have that too.
Sally, the weather was lovely today, wasn't it?
We got a bit of sunshine.
We did. How unusual
did
that feel? I did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's dry tomorrow, and then Friday's not quite as nice, and then Saturday is sunny again. So actually, over the next few days, the weather's not too bad, and the temperatures just come down a tiny bit if you're desperate for that. Here we go.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello again. I hope you've had a lovely Wednesday. Looks like these gorgeous dogs here have. Well, that's a good Christmas jumper, isn't it? Now, the weather for tomorrow isn't too bad. It is turning a bit cloudier as the day goes on, but should stay dry into Friday. The risk of some light rain around, perhaps in the morning, but an improving picture. And then for the weekend, sunny for Saturday into Sunday, turning a little bit more unsettled. And we're just keeping an eye on that. You can see from the chart here that this is the front that's heading our way on Friday, but it breaks up as it does, which is why we're not expecting too much rain on it. Quite settled for Saturday into Sunday. We're just keeping an eye on this system, so we will of course keep you posted. For all the rest of tonight though, it's quite quiet out there, lots of clear skies. There's maybe going to be a little bit of mist and fog by the end of the night, and it's a little bit cooler tonight. We're dropping down into those mid-single figures, so tomorrow will feel a bit fresher first thing, but a nice start to the day. You might get some sunshine around early doors, but pretty quickly that cloud starts to move in. However, it's looking dry. Temperatures just down a touch on today, highs of 10 to 12 degrees, although still a bit above average for this time of year. And then for the evening, again, mostly dry, that cloud thickening, maybe the odd spot of rain, but hopefully you won't see much. And then into Friday, you can see this front edging its way eastwards, so we might get a bit of drizzle around to start Friday, looking like it'll get drier as the day goes on. You might miss it entirely. And then for Saturday, how lovely to see a nice medallion of sunshine. Let's hope it stays that way. That's it for now. I'll see you later on. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
From his school days in Acton to the sound of the 60s and now a Knight of the Realm, Sir Roger Daltry received his knighthood this morning from Prince William. It was awarded not just for his services to music, but also his decades organising concerts for the Teenage Cancer Trust. Sangeeta Kandola reports.
For more than a generation, The Who's been entertaining people around the world with their wild, wonderful mix of metal, pop, punk and rock resonating with millions. At the forefront, frontman Sir Roger Daltry, who today, in a slightly more subdued setting, received a knighthood from the Prince of Wales.
It's kind of weird that someone else talking to me. No, but it is an honour. It's a great honour for me. I don't think about the career. I mean, it's just what I've done. I've always been the kind of guy that just rolls with whatever comes through the letterbox.
Sir Roger started the band with mates he met at grammar school in Acton, first rising to fame back in the 60s. And it wasn't long before everyone knew who the Who were, securing smash hits and, in signature style, smashing up their instruments on stage decade after decade.
What do you think those young lads make of this moment?
They be blowing raspberries.
Sir Roger received his honour today for services to music and charity too. For the last 25 years as patron, he created and curated annual concerts at the Royal Albert Hall in London for the Teenage Cancer Trust, raising millions.
We've done incredibly well. We built 28 hospital wards. Last year I must have seen at least 5 or 6 19, 18, 20-year-olds who have died because there was late diagnosis. They're the ones we need to save.
Sir Roger, clearly chuffed with his shiny new accolades, says the real honour will be finding a cure for cancer for future generations. Sangeeta Kandola, ITV News.
And just before we go, the cast of Les Mis have temporarily abandoned the barricades this evening to sing carols in the West End. They're just around the corner from the Sondheim Theatre where the musical is running. Let's have a listen in and then speak to our reporter, Anila Dami.
What a treat that was, and I'm here with one of those behind this incredible production. Joe, so great to have you with us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, from the stage to the streets, is something different for the Les Mis cast?
Absolutely, it's been a great year here at Les Mis actually. We've been just celebrated our 40th birthday.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. 40 years in the West End, and this is our 3rd year here at the Ham Yard Hotel, the 20th year that we've been raising money for Great Ormond Street Hospital in memory of somebody who was in the cast's son who actually went to Great Ormond Street 20 years ago. So we kept the tradition up from a chap called Sam Hill who started this, and here we are 20 years later still doing it.
And it must mean so much to Great Ormond Street.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously there's the raising of money that's really useful for their resources, but also it's about spreading the Christmas cheer and bringing the community together. Obviously you can see here at Ham Yard Hotel there's a real buzz around the place, and every year that we've done it it's grown even bigger. More people are coming down. It's lovely to see some fans from the show, some that have never seen the show before, come and sing along with us all the Christmas carols.
Amazing. And talking of the show, I better let you go because you have got a show tonight, haven't you?
There is a show tonight, yes. We carry on. We do one little section here and then we go back and do the show, so it's great.
As they say, the show must go on.
Thank you, Anila, and thank you to the cast of Les Mis. And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Mary, but for all of us on the London team, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.